Greetings, mighty companions. Anna Kujawa here, and we are doing practical and healing applications of A Course in Miracles like we always do on Monday evenings. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with an opening meditation like we always do to make contact with that divine intelligence within us, asking it to guide this session so that we hear exactly what we need to hear for peace and for healing today. And so I'm going to start with a 3-4 minute opening meditation, and then next Wendy's going to come play for the duration of that opening meditation so that we'll open up our hearts and our minds and our spirits as well so that we might hear better. And thank you, Greg, for reminding me. Announcements. I'm trying to learn how to do announcements. Remember to do announcements at the beginning because I forget at the end. And announcements are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Greg and I do Course in Miracles classes here at the Villa and on Facebook live stream, 6 p.m. to 7:30. And on Mondays and Tuesdays, starting next week, we're going to start Hallelujah Happy Hour from 4:30 to 6 here at the yoga studio at Villa de Angel, where we get down with God before class. And you can do that and come to class, or do that and not come to class, however you want to do it. And also we have almost set the dates for our upcoming Course in Miracles, Ecstatic Dance, Yoga, and Hot Springs retreat last week of March. So stay tuned for more info on that, or send me a message asking for info. And that's going to be here in Ajijic, Mexico at Villa de Angel, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So last week of March, ACIM, Ecstatic Dance, Yoga, Hot Springs retreat. Great. Did I leave anything out? Anything else? Okay. All right, you guys. Hi, Patty. Lovely to see you. Hi, Peter. So now we're going to start with our opening meditation. Close your eyes. Take a breath. And breathe. This is our time to step out of time and allow our hearts and our minds to rest in eternity, in the eternity of the present moment. So we tell our frantic minds, hey mind, it's safe to come home. It's safe to come back home to the present moment, where your mind can open, where my mind can open and rest and heal. This is our time to allow our minds to actually rest. This is our time to allow our minds to rest by assuring our minds, in this perfect, precious moment, you need do nothing but be and rest in love. It's safe to relax right here, right now. Right here and right now, is all power, all peace, all love, all answers. It's all waiting for you right here, right now, where you are. And all we need to do is become quiet, enough to hear and to feel what is here waiting for us. So let's breathe and feel. The spirit of truth and healing within us. You know us. You love us. You know exactly how to answer our calls for love, our calls for healing in the most brilliant, loving way that we don't. And so we ask you to be in charge of this healing circle, this healing time. Decide for us what we hear from A Course in Miracles. Be you in charge of this healing time and this healing circle. Help us to open up our inner ear and to open our inner eye, our spiritual eye, that we might hear and see all that you would show us in your infinite love for us. And we thank you. We thank you for your love. We thank you for your tolerance and your patience. We thank you for your infinite wisdom and your unending generosity. Higher mind, thank you, and be you in charge. All right, now we're gonna have Wendy take us on in, even deeper within.
Spirit of truth. Rain, will you listen to the rain? Softly kiss it. To the rain, wash away, wash away, wash away. Hear the hush, hear the hush. Spirit of truth,
Thank you, Wendy. Isn't that beautiful? That is Wendy. What's your last name?
DeMoss.
DeMoss. Wendy DeMoss. Thank you. That's right. Chant your heart open. Chant your heart open. Beautiful. All right, guys. So we are going to see. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this Course in Miracles class. And what's your name? Juliana. Nice to meet you. Welcome. Yes. Wonderful. And so what we do on Mondays is we let the spirit that we just called upon decide for us where in A Course in Miracles that we read from, trusting that our higher self knows what we need to hear and that we don't know. That our higher mind knows exactly what would answer our calls for love, our calls for help in a better way than we could answer for ourselves. And so we use the never random number generator to let the spirit do that, so that it's spirit. And it's always very, very spooky how precise it really is. So I'm gonna do the random number generator and chapter 29. And Greg, will you look at the table of contents along with me? I'll look too. So you guys.
Darling, I'll do that right
Well,
now.
thank you so much, honey. So you guys watching, we're going to be in chapter 29. And going to see how many chapters.
We were in chapter 31 last night.
That's right. We've been in the latter part of the book. Okay, and of course, come on. The ego just took over my iPad again. All right, so let's see here. All right. Okay, guys, and if somebody would be willing, whoever's watching, to put in chapter 29.
It is 10.
Okay, there's 10. Okay, great. So we're going to go back.
And the annotated.
There are 10 in the annotated. All right. Okay, and here we go. And it's section 10.
The Dream of Judgment.
The Dream of Judgment. All righty. That doesn't sound like anything we could relate to, huh? It's a good thing we don't ever judge in here. Or ever worried about being judged. It's a good thing we don't suffer from any of that. Okay, so we are in chapter 29, section 10, The Dream of Judgment. Now, I'm going to have Greg look in the blue book to see what section that is, what that corresponding section is. Okay. So, and then we have a book up here, and wonderful. Here, Greg. Beautiful. And Juliana, would you like a book as well?
I'll find it in here for you.
Oh, you have it on your phone?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Beautiful.
Okay.
So, all right. Oof. All right. So the first thing to remember about A Course in Miracles is that you don't have to believe anything it says. And that many of the ideas you will find quite startling and hard to believe. And it didn't say you might, it said you will. You will find them quite startling and hard to believe. And it even says, and some of the ideas in A Course in Miracles you may actively resist. So this is the guidelines that A Course in Miracles itself gives for studying the material. You'll find it startling, you'll find it hard to believe, and you will most probably actively resist it. And it says, and that's perfectly fine. That is perfectly okay. It doesn't matter. The only way you'll ever come to know whether the ideas of A Course in Miracles are true is if you use them. So it says, don't worry about, it already says you're not going to believe them. That's why you need the Course in Miracles ideas, because you don't believe these ideas. That's why you need to hear the ideas. We don't already believe that we are completely guiltless and sinless forever. And so that's why we need to hear something that reminds us that we are innocent, that we can be mistaken, but we can never be sinful, right? And so that's the guidelines that the Course in Miracles itself gives, that you don't need to believe it, you don't need to welcome it, you will actively resist it. That doesn't matter. It's only the use of the ideas that will show you that they're true. So don't try to believe the ideas just by hearing them. Just listen to them knowing that none of us here fully believe these loving ideas, or we wouldn't be in need of help or healing. And that the goal here is not to believe them or even to accept them, but to try something different, to hear that, oh yeah, there's another way of responding to life that may actually bring more peace and healing than what I've been doing. Oh yeah, there's a better way. Oh yeah, there is another way. There is a better way. Oh, what a wonderful reminder. Oh, and let me try something different. So let that be how you use it, instead of sitting here trying to accept or believe whatever you hear it saying. Okay, we already know we don't believe it. That's why we need it. All right? We already know we don't believe we are only love, period. We already know that. That's why we need to hear something say, you are only love. And everything else that you think you are is just a self-concept that you learned from the past, from people who did not know the truth about them, who learned it from people who did not know the truth about themselves. Okay, so that's what we're going to hear.
Blue book is 29, section 9, called The Forgiving Dream.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Greg. If you have the blue covered edition, the Foundation for Inner Peace, it's 29, chapter 29, section 9, and it's called The Forgiving Dream. Isn't that funny? This one's called The Dream of Judgment. This is the unedited one, and the blue covered edition had a lot of editing to it. Not where they changed the meanings, where they just took some stuff out. Hi, honey. Welcome. Okay. So the first sentence that you don't have to believe and you may actively resist is, the slave of idols is a willing slave. All right, we did the first thing the Course in Miracles said we were going to do, and we don't believe it. And maybe we actively resist it. Okay, or let's say it like this. The slave of addictions is a willing slave. Okay, now you're talking about something I understand. I'm not an idol worshiper. Yeah, but I do have addictions. Okay, and so the slave of addictions is a willing slave. Okay, just because it seems like they are a victim of their addiction doesn't mean that they are a victim. It means they're a willing slave. So there's no victims. There's just willing slaves. Woo! To what? An idol. What's an idol? Something that hurts you, but you want it anyway because it tastes good. Or it feels good for about 30 seconds, right? Before the bill comes due. Okay, that's an idol, something outside of myself that I think is going to make me happy and give me worth and value, but it doesn't. But it doesn't. Something outside of me that I think is going to give me a pleasure that's going to feel good, but and I'm willing to sacrifice to it. I'm willing to bow down to it, but it doesn't make me feel good at all. And what does it do? It it extracts the heaviest cost of all. So the slave of idols or addictions is a willing slave. How is that? Because willing we must be to let ourselves bow down in worship to what has no life, which means seek for power in the powerless. So if we're having any kind of experience or feeling of powerlessness, like addiction, I'm powerless in this situation. I'm powerless against this addiction, this temptation, this thought pattern. It says willing. Oh, it says if you're experiencing any feeling of powerlessness, then it must mean that you've been seeking for power in something outside of you that really has no power to give you. You're seeking something outside of you that gives you value, worth, power, abundance, joy, love, life that really doesn't have it to give you. But it sure is extracting a large cost, for this thing that it's not gonna give to you. That's an idol. Okay. Anybody doing anything like that? Anybody seeking outside of you for something to give you power or worth or value or love or joy or health or abundance that really doesn't do it? And how long have we been bowing down and worshiping that something outside of us for that value and worth and love and power that didn't really do it? Because here we are going, I still feel powerless. I still feel worthless. I still feel inadequate. I still feel like I don't have enough. Well, shoot, as long as we've been bowing down and worshiping these things outside of ourselves for all that, you would have think that by now we'd go, hey, that didn't work. What else? Okay, so it says, because willing we must be to let ourselves bow down and worship to what has no life, and willing we must be to bow down and seek for power in the powerless. Wow. And if we're experiencing anything but fulfillment, we had to have been seeking outside of us for that fulfillment, for that power, for that love, that from a place that could never come. That's the only reason any of us could be feeling any kind of emptiness, inadequacy, lack of fulfillment, lack of joy, lack of love right now, as if we're looking in the wrong place. Because if we had been looking in the right place, which is within ourselves, then we would experience fulfillment, happiness, joy, all the things that we've been looking for outside of ourselves. So it's not like, oh, I've been looking for love, and I've been looking for abundance, and I've been looking for success, and I've been looking for worth and joy and happiness, but, I never found it. It's the truth is that the things that we've been looking for it in haven't failed us. We've just been looking in the wrong places. No, the world hasn't disappointed us. We were just looking in the wrong place, right? All right, and that's the good news, because it's not like there's no love, power, worth to find in life. It's just that we've been looking in the wrong place. So now it's like, well, what would be the right place to look? Okay. It says, what happened to the innocent children of God that this could be their wish? What wish? That we would let ourselves fall lower than the stones upon the ground and have to look to idols to raise us up. What happened to you? That you gotta fall lower than the stones on the ground in terms of worth and value and go, and look to idols to raise you up and give you some worth or value. What happened to us? That we had to look to other people, that we had to look to the government, that we had to look to power, fame, money, and physical pleasure, all these things, and make ourselves a slave to all those things outside of ourselves just to get a little bit of love and a little bit of worth, a little bit of power. He's like, what happened to you? That you've fallen lower than the stones in terms of worth and value, that you had to go begging someone or something outside yourself for just a little crumbs of worth and value and power.
I didn't know there was another way.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what happened to us. The people that we thought loved us and knew the truth told us, you don't deserve to just be happy because of who you are. You know you don't deserve abundance and security and worth just because of who you are without doing anything. You know you're not all that. That's what happened to us. We told people, we were taught by people that you don't deserve it all just because who you are. We didn't learn that. That's what happened to us. No. That now we're so empty and inadequate that we gotta go find somebody to give us some worth, some value, and some power. Wow, great question. And now it says, yes, go ahead. Yeah. Anybody recognize that?
I think it's like for looking for fulfillment in something outside of body. It's like the simplest example is like alcohol.
Yes.
It makes you feel confident and strong, but then it goes away.
Exactly.
Temporary.
And what'd you say? Temporary. And then extracts a cost, an expensive cost. You feel like crap the next day. Your body doesn't look as good and feel as good. Exactly. Everything we've been looking outside of ourselves for peace, happiness, fulfillment, abundance, security, those are all those idols that we have been falling lower than the stones in worship of, looking for those idols to raise us up and give us what we must not have right now. And of course, in Miracles is saying that the truth is that every child of God, every creation of God, which is love, was created with all the power, all the worth, all the eternal life, all the joy, all the peace, all the brilliance, all the love, all the abundance that God, our Creator, has. That's what A Course in Miracles says. That when our Creator created us, our Creator gave us everything it has, everything. Completely, without holding anything back, without choosing favorites, no partiality. It says that Source is completely impartial in its giving. Whatever our Source is what it gives to every one of its creations, no exceptions, no conditions, no time limit at all, ever, to all of them equally alike. And so all of our beliefs that we are somehow lacking something, I'm missing something, I'm inadequate or some way, and I have a need that I'm in need of something that I don't have right now, and I got to go find it, and I got to go take it, and then I got to figure out how to keep it, and I got to figure out how to pay for it. All of those perceptions are just self-concepts that we learned about ourselves from the past that are lies. They're not true. They're just self-concepts that never were true, that we learned and came to believe that they were true. But that's all they are, just a concept, just an idea, and a wrong idea. So every concept of any kind of lack that we perceive is just an idea, and a false one that we learned. But if that's an idea that if we had the ability to learn that idea, then we have the ability to unlearn that idea and learn the true ideas. And of course, in Miracles is those true ideas. You do not lack for anything. You are not incomplete. You have everything that your source is. And you can't lose it, and you don't have to buy it, you don't have to earn it, and you can't lose it. And nobody can take it from you. And not even a horrible childhood can take it from you. Nothing can take it from you. And it lasts forever. Okay? And that's what we don't believe that we need to hear. Even though we don't believe it. No. Typically, we only listen to things we already believe. Right. But here's a situation where we need to listen to what we don't believe, so that we can be happy again, right? And not just be idol worshipers looking for, are you my mommy? Are you my happiness? Remember that book from are you my mommy? Are you my mommy? Are you my mommy? right? That was it. And so instead of being idol worshipers that never feel fulfilled and never feel good enough, the Course in Miracles is saying what you really are is creators who create the good, the beautiful, and the holy. You know, and so you can either be an idol worshiper who's never fulfilled and always broke and always angry and always upset and always full of grievance, and then thinking then you're just going to die, or you can be a creator that you were created to be, just going around creating the good, the beautiful, and the holy.
I choose that.
Me too. Me too. Why not? We've done everything else. We've tried everything else. You know, may as well try something new. Hi, Carol. Hi, Julie. Lovely to see you guys. Okay, great. So it says, first it asks us a question. What happened to you, you innocent child of God, that this could be your wish? What wish? To let yourself fall lower than the stones upon the ground so that you have to look to idols to raise you up. Well, hear then your story in the dream you made. Okay, so here's how it all happened, boys and girls. I'm glad you're gathered round to hear how it happened. How did it happen that I fell lower than the stones on the ground in my perception, and now I gotta beg for some worth and value and a few crumbs? Okay, here's how it happened. Here's our story in the dream we made. And then ask yourself if it's not the truth that you believe it's not a dream. Okay, so here's the dream we made that turned us into a bunch of lowly worm idol worshipers who never can be satisfied. And are always angry. And then I love it, and he goes, and also ask yourself if it's not the truth that you don't believe it's a dream. Okay, he's going to tell us about the dream we made, the dream we're having asleep that we don't think is a dream. All this dream of lack and death and separation and inadequacy and coronavirus and and a collapsing economy. Yeah, that's right. I don't believe it's a dream. You're exactly right. But he's saying it's a dream. Okay, it's a dream. It's a mass hallucination that we're all having. And thank God it's a dream. Because we know dreams we can waken from. Okay, here's how it all happened, boys and girls. Paragraph 2. A dream of judgment came into the mind that God had created as perfect as God himself or herself. That's what happened. Okay, God had created a mind that was exactly perfect and complete as God himself. And into that mind had a dream. That mind went to sleep and was drooling and snoring, and then had a nightmare. And the nightmare that sleeping mind had was a dream of judgment. That's wrong. That's bad. That's not good enough. That means this. That's what happened. God had created a mind as perfect and complete as God's mind that fell asleep and had a dream called judgment. And in that dream of judgment was heaven changed to hell. And in that hellish dream nightmare, all of a sudden now God, whose love became enemy to us. In that dream, that nightmare we were having, all of a sudden God's angry at us. God's mad at you, boys and girls, you little sinful children. God's mad at you. Well, I'm only in kindergarten. I know, but you're already a guilty sinner and God's mad at you. So go say some Hail Marys and go put on a longer skirt. You know, in the dream, God's really mad at everybody. Everybody, even little babies born in sin, that God's mad at. God's mad at everybody. That's why everybody got to be on their toes, and everybody got to atone, and everybody better fall down lower than the stones to worship the angry God. Starting to sound familiar, sounds a little bit like a lot of our religions that we were brought up in, right? The dream of judgment in which God is angry and God is judging. God's judging you like this, and God's judging you like that, and God's mad at you like this. And now you have to be like, oh, sorry, God. Sorry, God, I'm so unworthy. What do you want me to do? Go to church? All right. Oh, tithe more? Okay. That's the dream of judgment that entered into the minds that God had created completely perfect. If God created us as completely perfect, why do we need to do anything? Why do we need to prove ourselves or obey God better or follow a bunch of rules or feel afraid and guilty and then try to atone if we're already perfect? So God's like, I created you perfect. Don't have to do anything. You're perfect. Okay. And but a dream of judgment entered where we're not perfect and God's the one judging us and angry that we're not doing it right and we're not being right, and all the other list of judgments that we learned that that we dreamed that God has for us, that we now have for ourselves, and now we have for everybody else. Now we're judging ourselves all day long, and we're judging everybody else all day long, and we're judging every situation all day long, and then we project it onto God. Why are you doing this to me, God? What do you want from me, God? God's like, my children. Oh, my children. It's a good thing my love is infinite and eternal. It's a good thing it's just a dream. If it wasn't a dream, we'd all be screwed forever, you know. I mean, and the dream of judgment that we all dreamed, it's really cruel. It's like got lake of fire, it's got eternal damnation, it's got purgatory.
Total action movie.
Oh, it's like all the kind of movies that I hate. You know, they're full of violence and they're loud and, you know, explosives and, you know, nonstop with a sad ending, right? And so this is what happened. This is how we got into the collective mess that we're in. You know, God created us, God's one creation, a mind like God's mind that was perfect. It's eternal, sinless, guiltless, has everything forever, is everything forever, is as powerful as a creator as God. And this mind, having all the power of its creator, also has power to create. And this mind is so powerful that if it chose to believe in a dream of judgment, where God is angry and a mean old ass kicker, then this mind, with all the power that was given it, can actually create an entire world where it seems completely real and not a dream. That's how powerful our mind is. You know, people are like, well, how could our mind create the whole world and universe? Well, that's how powerful our mind is, because that's how powerful the mind of our creator is. So to create something like this, as vast as it appears, is nothing for a mind as powerful as ours. And so if we want to dream that God is angry at us, and you know, and now we're sinners and guilty, and we gotta beg to have some love, and gotta work to earn the love from source and everybody else, well, then you can absolutely, totally make it seem real. Just like when you're experiencing virtual reality, if you've ever done virtual reality, it seems real. Just like, and he uses the analogy, and I'm not sure if it's in here, but he says, it's just like when you go to sleep at night and your head is on your pillow and you're snoring and drooling, and what you're experiencing in your mind seems 100% absolutely real. You don't, and never, ever, ever in your dreams go, this is a weird dream I'm having. You never do that. When you are in a dream, it absolutely 100% seems like a dream. You absolutely think it's real, and the only way it could ever be, and when you wake up from it, you're shocked. And very often you're like, oh my God. You know, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, it was just a dream. You're surprised. You're shocked. And the Course in Miracles is saying, just because you wake up in the morning from the dream and you go, oh, I'm going to go make some coffee. He goes, that don't mean you woke up from the dream. You just have a dream that you woke up in the dream. So in the morning when you wake up and you're like, I'm awake now. Nope. No. No, that's just the part of the dream where you wake up in the morning and go have coffee. I'm awake now, and I need coffee. You're still dreaming, because exactly, you're still dreaming, because here you are, still like, I need coffee. I need coffee. Don't talk to me before I have my coffee. It sounds like some need. Sounds like some idols right there. So he says, and this is our story. This is our story. You know, this is how it happened. That now we seem like we're powerless, weak beings who have to look beyond ourselves for power or worth or love or abundance. And that we have to beg for it. And, you know, oh, I swear, I promise I'll be good. That's how it happened. All right. I sure hope it's going to tell us how to wake up from this dream, huh?
I hope so.
Well, you might just have to stay to the end to find out. Oh, it's the next sentence. It's the next sentence, of course. It always is. Course in Miracles is so brilliant and so loving. It tells you exactly how you got into the mess you're in, and then it tells you exactly how to get out. You know, so if you can hang in there long enough to like go, I must be insane. If you can handle that part, then you can get the answer. Okay, but you have to be able to like sit tight while you hear how insane you are. Okay, I did that to myself. I thought, what? I have a wish to suffer and be miserable. I have a wish. I have an addiction to that. Oh boy. Yes, it does not. That hurts to hear. It's very difficult to sit and breathe and hear that you did it to yourself. But if you sit and listen long enough, you'll also hear, and you're innocent. It was just a mistake. It's not a sin, and it's just an idea, a false idea, and it can be changed. You can learn a new idea. It's like taking the medicine that tastes like crap, or taking the injection of the medicine that's going to save you, but first it hurts when it goes in. All right. Beautiful. All right, so it says paragraph 2, a dream of judgment came into the mind that God had created perfect as God himself, and in that dream of judgment was heaven changed to hell, and God made enemy to us. How can we awaken from this dream of judgment? Well, it's a dream of judgment, so must you judge not, and you will waken. Out. Oh, that sounds too easy. And that's the problem with A Course in Miracles. It's too easy, right? Where it says, simplicity is very difficult for twisted minds. So when you give us the simple answer, the easy answer, we're like, I don't understand that. Can you explain that? Can you give me a big book with 1,000 pages to explain that to me, please? Because the dream of judgment will seem to last while you are part of that dream of judgment. Oh, while I'm judging, I will still seem to be a part of the dream of judgment, and it will still seem real, and I won't be able to wake from it. It's like the desire to judge is the desire to stay asleep. It's like, as much as I am addicted to judging, which I am, really, that's my addiction to staying asleep, which means to stay like a lowly worm who's fallen lower than the stones on the ground, having to look to idols outside of myself to raise me up from the dust of unworthiness. Wow. That's my addiction. Wow. Okay, good. So great. And so then it says, so judge not. Oh, that's easy too. That's another problem with the Course in Miracles. You have to be able to take it when you realize how insane that you are. It says, judge not, for he who judges will have need of idols. Ooh. What kind of idols? Idols which hold the judgment off from resting on yourself. So if you still want to judge, then you're going to need to have things outside of yourself that you can judge and project upon, so that it's not just your judgment on yourself. Every time you judge, you're really just judging yourself. But if you want to keep the judgment going so that you don't look like an idiot, you have to have something to judge, so that it seems like you're actually judging something and someone else, right? When the truth is that if there wasn't someone outside, others out there, and you were judging, it would be obvious that you were judging yourself. But that makes you look crazy. You know, what do you say about somebody who just walks around judging themselves all day long? Idiot, failure, you know. You would say, that person's crazy. Well, we don't want to seem crazy, so we have to go find people, places, and things outside of us to project our self-judgment onto, to keep that judgment off from ourselves, to make it seem like that's not the way I think about myself. Wow. So I love that. Judge not, for they who judge will have need of external idols which hold their judgment off from resting on themselves. Nor can we know the self, our real self, that we have condemned or judged. As long as we're judging and we're projecting that judgment onto people, places, and things outside of us, we'll never be able to know our true self that we're really condemning. Anytime I judge, I'm really only judging myself. And I'm just projecting on to people, places, and things outside of myself. And so, again, judge not, because you're making yourself a part of evil dreams. What's an evil dream? Oh, you know, an evil dream is where all those jerks outside of you are your so-called true identity. and your salvation from the judgment laid in terror and in guilt upon yourself. Wow. Is what happens when you judge. When you judge, you make yourself a part of evil dreams where your true identity is judgment and terror and guilt in yourself. Wow. All right. It's such a shame that I am so addicted to something that is so destructive. You know, you thought, heroin is a destructive addiction. You think smoking is a bad addiction. All the addictions that we have, it ain't nothing compared to judgment addiction. Wow. You know, every time I judge, I'm making myself a part of a judgmental dream or a judgmental relationship. I'm making myself a part of an experience where there's going to be judgment, terror, and guilt within me that I'm projecting onto somebody else. I'm just making up another experience for myself. I'm setting something up, another situation or relationship again, where I'm going to be experiencing a lot of terror and a lot of guilt and a lot of judgment that seems to be coming from the world outside of myself. Wow. That's what I'm doing every time I judge. All right, let's take a breath, shall we? Don't stop breathing. You have to breathe while you're listening to this. That's why we need laughter, we need music, we need Mother Nature. All right. It says, all the figures in our dream, all the people, places, and things outside of us in our dream, they are idols that we made to save us from the dream. What's an idol? It's something I put in my world and made up to keep the what? To save me from the dream I made. You made this painful experience from me. You made this guilt for me. You made this fear for me. You made this lack for me. You gave me this pain. You gave me that judgment, people, places, and things in my world. And I made them so that I wouldn't see that I was doing it to myself. Wow. Wow. And that's why we are so attached to the people, places, and things in our life that we have grievances with. You would think that the people, places, and things we have grievances with, we would be not so attached to. We'd be able to let them go a little bit easier. But no, we're very, very, very attached to those situations, those relationships that we're so upset about all the time. Why? Now this explains it. Because we need them and we want them to keep the responsibility for our judgments from resting on us, our responsibility. Wow. Yeah, we get with our friends and we're complaining about our job or our relationship. We're, guys, it's so complain. And our friends are like, I have been listening to you complain about that job for years, you know. And what we are not aware of is that if I don't have that job that I'm always complaining about, or that relationship I'm complaining about, or that physical condition that I'm always complaining about, if I didn't have that, guess what? I would have to see that I don't love myself, that I am judging my own self as unworthy, unlovable, inadequate, guilty. And so since I don't want to take responsibility for that, I don't want to realize, shoot, I'm insane. I do not love myself. I'm insane. I'm crazy. It's official. Since I don't want to do that, then I have to keep those people, places, and things that are so upsetting to me, so that I don't ever have to take responsibility for my own self-hate. You know, and that self-hate, that self-judgment, that dream of self-hate, that dream of self-judgment, the moment that I went, oh, I am judging myself. I believe I am not worthy of love. I believe I am guilty. I believe I am unlovable and unworthy and inadequate and guilty. I believe I should be ashamed of my own self. When that moment happens and you realize that your so-called enemy is not anyone or anything outside of you, and it's not God, it's your own belief, it's your own judgment. That is your only enemy in life. That's the only enemy you have. That is the moment where you make your greatest advance. That's the moment where you are free. And now it doesn't matter what the heck is happening outside of you. It doesn't matter if there's a pandemic going on, or economic collapse going on, or a situation. It don't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter who left your life. It don't matter who entered your life. It doesn't matter. You will be experiencing, what did it say? Heaven. Not hell anymore. Heaven that comes from the experience of your true identity as a creation of love, a creation of God. You know, and then, look, nothing changed external to me, nothing changed outside of me. No, my life feels like heaven. My life feels like heaven. And look, here's all my friends who are now experiencing heaven with me. You know, it said, the Course in Miracles says that, he says, there comes a moment in time in every soul's evolution from being totally asleep to being awake, where we wake up and go, oh, the enemy is within me. The enemy is within me. And it says that in that moment, that it says many people have died upon seeing this. Many people have chosen to try to kill themselves in the infinite variety of ways that you can do that here in a body, right? There's lots of ways to kill the body, lots and lots and lots of ways. Yeah. It says that many people have died upon seeing that the enemy was within them. And it says, and that could have been the moment when they made their greatest advance, you know, toward the heaven of the experience of their true identity. You know, so it's the thing we're all avoiding. We're all avoiding. No, I don't want to see that it's with my own. It's only me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to take all my projections back. I don't want to see that those people I hate out there, you know, are really just a reflection of how I hate myself and what I think I've done. Okay, but you know, but that's the work. That's the awakening work. Remember, we're talking about awakening from the dream. This is the awakening dream. This is how we awaken from the dream of judgment. Notice, judgment is an energy, it's a thought projection. Judgment is a thought projection. It's where you're projecting your thought out, right? You know, outside of yourself, as if there's something outside of yourself. And the opposite of judgment is it's a going within to, it's a recognition of oneness with all. It's a seeing how we're all one, a joining with what you see instead of a projecting out. All right. Questions or comments?
Yes, I have a comment.
Yes.
So, it's the split mind that is believing all this and projecting all
Yes,
this. Right?
yes.
So, projecting seemingly other bodies or his own body is exactly the same thing, right?
What was that you said to the body?
Projecting in other seemingly bodies
Yes.
or in this body is exactly the same thing.
Yes, it's exactly right. Projecting onto others' body or projecting onto your own body. Yes, exactly the same thing. It's like the Course in Miracles says, whether you blame somebody else or you blame yourself, it's still the same. It's blame. And it needs to be undone. It's a projection of judgment. It's a judgment, right?
It's like
Yes.
we are driving the car and we are angry at other driver in
Yes.
front of us and we are swearing on him,
Yes.
but he doesn't hear us, you know?
Yes.
So we're swearing on ourselves.
Exactly. It's exactly right. Yeah. Who's really hurting from you screaming in rage at that other driver? You know, who's listening to, who's jamming out to the radio? Woohoo! You know, who's really suffering there? It's a great analogy. Yes, beautiful. Anything else? Questions or comments? Beautiful. Hi, Kathy.
Yeah, because my comment came from a place like it's my split mind who's trying to get rid of the guilt, the fear, and if it's going to project in other people, other situation, or in this body, is still an attempt to not feel fear
Yes.
or guilt, even doesn't matter if it's seemingly outside or this body, because this body is also
Yes.
the same thing, like
Yes.
seemingly seems to be outside.
Yes.
Once everything is in the mind, it's all the same.
Exactly. That every time I'm judging, I'm trying to get away from the judgment that I'm judging on myself. You know, I'm trying to get away from my own belief in terror and guilt. You know, I'm trying to get away from my own belief that I am judgeable. I'm trying to get away from my own dream of judgment. And what's a dream of judgment? It's a dream where I'm being judged and I can be judged. And of course, in Miracles is like, you can't be judged. You know, what God created can't be judged. It's not judgeable. You know, and we've learned that not only can we be judged, but we are being judged. You know, and we're trying to escape it, get away from it by projecting that judgment out onto others. They're judging me, they're judging me, they're judging me. Yes. Yeah.
I like what you said, if God created it, you, me, or whatever, who are we gonna find worthy? Who has the skill sets to come in and to be God's critic and judge?
Yes.
And
Exactly.
then that's how sense the whole stream makes.
Yes, exactly. That's how insane the dream is. Just like our nighttime dreams. I swear to God, you know, as much as I've studied A Course in Miracles for almost all my life, I'm still shocked about how insane my night dreams are. Still to this day. I would have thought, by this time of studying this long, I'd be having like dreams of flying and resurrecting people and, saving the world. But no, I'm still having the same chaotic, crazy, insane, scary dreams. The other night, I literally had dreams that I was fighting off a house full of demons. The whole house. I'm like, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. It's just like, I'm like, huh? So, it's the dream of judgment is chaotic, and the dream of judgment is full of symbols of terror and guilt. And the only way to waken from this hellish dream called a nightmare, where judgment has filled the nightmare with symbols of demons and judgment and chaos and catastrophe. The only way to waken from a hellish dream, a nightmare, is by judging not. And the first thing about judging not goes like this: I do not know the meaning of what I see. It's real simple, real basic, but nothing that we're less likely to do, right? It's the last thing that we think to do. I do not know what this means. I do not know what I'm looking at, and so I do not know how to respond. Spirit, what does it mean? Like a little kid. That's what it means, unless ye become like a child. Unless you become like a child, you'll never know anything. Right now, we don't know because we're judging. And we're judging when we don't know. And it's keeping us from knowing our true identity, which, by the way, P.S., is heaven. Of Course in Miracles says heaven isn't a place you go that looks like Villa d'Angel. Heaven is when you wake up and realize who you are, as a perfect creation of everlasting unconditional love. And you realize, oh my God, I just realized what I am. Wow. Okay, that's heaven. And we only wake up to heaven the heaven of our true identity by first going, I do not know what anything means. I don't know what this means. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what that means. I don't know what this means. I don't know how to respond to this because I don't know. But Spirit, God, you do, so explain it to me. What does it mean? And then Spirit and God, it goes, oh, I thought you'd never ask. And then Spirit goes, oh, let me tell you what it means. You don't have to judge, I'll tell you. You don't have to make it up, little Johnny. You don't have to make it up, little Anna. I'll tell you what it means. And what it really means is something that could only make you happy. You don't need to judge. You don't have to figure it out. You don't have to understand. Thank God, because you don't. All you have to do is ask the one who does know. Instead of projecting, instead of always, looking outside of yourself, all you got to do is say, I don't know what it means, and then asking the one who does. And knowing that you only have heard Spirit if what you hear is loving and it fills you with peace. And if it ain't loving and if it doesn't fill you with peace, you did not hear the voice for truth. You didn't hear God. You didn't hear Spirit. That you can be sure of. All right. Okay. Now, it says, so all of those idols outside of us that we're seeking to save us from the dream, guess what? They're all part of what they have been made to save us from. Okay? Everything outside of us has just been made by us, by the way, to keep us from ourselves and our choice and our thoughts and our judgments and our also power to choose again. So, stop looking for them to save you from what the pain that you are experiencing. Stop looking to anything outside of you to save you from what you're feeling or experiencing right now. The only thing that you're experiencing right now is the cost of your own judgment. That's it. And when you stop judging and start asking the voice for love, then you won't be experiencing a hell that you wish someone or something would save you from. Wow. And then everything outside of you, according to the Course in Miracles, once you are taking full responsibility for what you're experiencing, and you stop judging and you start asking that which knows, then everything that seems to be outside of you, the Course in Miracles says, it says, now the waves will bow down to you. Now the trees will drop their leaves so that your path is soft under your feet, and now all the flowers will offer you their fragrance, and now the snow will offer you, its brightness, and everyone you meet will see you as their savior, and they will see you as their friend, and they will be very happy to see you come among them. That's what the Course in Miracles says, that's the way you'll experience the world once you have taken responsibility back, stopped your own judgment. Stop judging and asking from the one who knows that only love is real. Well, how about that? There's an idea. There's something I haven't tried. Don't give up hope yet. There's something you haven't tried yet. Don't be depressed, feeling like, I've tried everything and nothing worked. I'm still depressed. No, you haven't. You haven't tried everything yet.
Anna?
Yes.
I really like what you said, and I would like to add something. I can feel that this judgment, it's kind of like trying to predict something and know, because our mind likes to know what is happening. And
yes.
I can give as an example future.
Yes.
We're worrying about future because we're trying to predict, and the mind is playing, jokes on us. And
Yes.
puts us in an uncomfortable, fearful situation.
That's a great example of judgment. Judgment comes in lots and lots and lots of forms. And one of them, like you were saying, is I know it's going to happen in the future. I'm going to predict the future, and I'm going to plan for the future. That's me judging that I know what's going to be happening and that I would know how to prepare for what's happening. And that's me judging that, what is going to be happening is good or bad. And, that's judgment. That's
Because of what
just
happened in the past.
exactly. And it's all based on what happened in the past. You're exactly right. That's why A Course in Miracles says that planning is one of the biggest defenses against heaven, because it's just a big judgment that we're making, and judgment is what's keeping us asleep in the dream, where we are what? Where we are willing slaves to idols outside of us that are never happy, that never satisfy us, that is never good enough for them, and they never give back. Our judgments make us willing slaves to idols. Idols that can never make us happy and that are never satisfied with us. Wow. That is so deep. All right. Okay. So we're going to stop there because it's about 12 minutes till when we're supposed to end class. And but this is, I highly recommend go and finish this section. As you can see, it's quite practical. What could be more practical than this? If you say that you would like to escape the misery of your hell and the hell of your misery once and for all. All right. And that's a big if, huh? All right. So, guys, beautiful. Hi, Bridget. Bridget says the knower know and the knower shows. Yeah, exactly. That's right. All right. So now we're going to do the integration meditation the integration meditation where we take the ideas and integrate them, and we're also going to have Wendy help us to do that. So I'm just going to do just a couple minutes on that and then have you come in. All right. So you guys, I'm so grateful that you joined us in this healing circle. Thank you for using your precious time and energy to join this healing circle. I thank you, and on behalf of the world that is saved by this, by our doing this, thank you as well. All right. So I want you to close your eyes and take a breath. We're going to do our integration meditation. We're going to take the ideas and use them. So just breathe and feel. Just notice how it feels to actually hear these ideas from A Course in Miracles today. How does it feel in your mind, your heart, your spirit, your body? Beautiful. It's so wonderful to hear that there's a way to awaken from whatever dream of pain that I'm dreaming. So I want you to bring to your awareness a situation or a relationship right now where you are experiencing any form of a lack of peace, guilt, terror, fear, lack, physical illness or pain. I want you to bring that situation or relationship to your awareness. See it in your mind's eye. And now let us tell ourselves the truth about this situation. Let us do what we heard in A Course in Miracles to do, to awaken from this experience. So the first thing we heard is to tell ourselves, what I am experiencing right now is my own dream of judgment. This isn't happening to me. I am not a victim of this. I am not a slave to this. What I am experiencing is my own judgment and my own judgment alone. And breathe. This is my judgment on myself. It's not them or that that's making me feel not good enough. It's not that situation or that person that's making me feel inadequate or lacking or poor or guilty or shameful. It's not my past that's making me feel inadequate or shameful. It's my judgment on myself that I am not perfect, that I am guilty, that I should be ashamed of myself, that I can be judged. This is my own dream, this is my own judgment on myself that I'm not perfect as love created me. This is my judgment on myself that there's something wrong with me, that I'm guilty, that I'm bad, that I'm sinful, that I'm inadequate, that I should have known better, that there's something wrong with me, that I learned from my past. So tell yourself that truth. What is the judgment in this situation that you've been making on yourself that you are projecting onto the situation or the relationship? Beautiful. And now let us judge ourselves not. Let us for a moment not judge ourselves. Let us not judge ourselves. And how did we hear to do that? Let us say to ourselves, I do not know the thing I am. And let us say to ourselves, and therefore I do not know what I am doing. And therefore I do not know how to respond to this situation. Then tell yourself the truth, but there is one within me who does know the thing I am, who does know what this means and how to respond. And let us now turn to that stately calm within us. That spirit of truth, our true identity within us. Let's turn to it to ask, what is the truth about me? What is the truth about my identity? What is my true identity as a child of God? And then listen and breathe. And notice how that answer feels. How does Spirit's answer to that question feel in comparison to your judgments on yourself in this situation or relationship? Notice the contrast. And then let's just go ahead and ask our loving right mind within us, the spirit of truth within us, please help me to not judge in this situation or relationship. Help me to not judge. Help me to stop judging, to not judge. Help me. I need help. I'm addicted to judging, which means I'm addicted to my own suffering. I'm addicted to making myself seem like a victim slave to people, places, and things outside of myself. I'm addicted to judging, so please help me. I need it. I give you permission, Spirit within me. All my teachers, guides, helpers, Spirit, God, all y'all, help me. I give you permission to help me to not judge in this situation, in this relationship right now, and from this point forward. Help me to accept responsibility for my projected judgments, and help me to ask the one who knows for the truth about myself. And thank you. Beautiful. And then Wendy, come on up. All right, now Wendy's gonna take us on home. All right, let me turn this down. Beautiful. Come on in, sweetie.
Wow, thank you for transporting me to not only delightful approach to such profundity and also such amazing depth. And
Bless you.
I feel very blessed.
That's the same way we feel about you.
I am bountiful. I am blissful. I am beautiful. I am
perfect song or what?
Perfect.
Perfect song. I love you guys. Thank you for joining our healing circle, and we'll see you next time we see you.